If you love grand strategy, gritty alternative timelines, and endless war, Kaiserpunk might be your next obsession. It's a blend of Victoria 3, Company of Heroes, and a Dieselpunk alternative history that had a baby. So let's check out some quick gameplay and we'll dive into it. So now that you've had a minute to see the actual gameplay and what this game looks like, let's dive into what Kaiserpunk is and why it's so interesting. The first thing that grabbed my attention with Kaiserpunk is that it is a post-World War I dystopian society. It's a world that has completely collapsed and evolved after the Great War when no one really won and everything kind of fell apart. You're forced to rebuild society while playing a grand strategy game as well as an economy builder. You get to have all of the fun of a Sim City while having the grand strategy of Victoria 3. It's one of my new favorite obsessions that I've picked up lately, and it's a real pleasure for them to actually invite me to try it out. One of my favorite things with this game is the aesthetic. It's grimdark feel, it's Dieselpunk styling, and it's very gritty aesthetic. It's something that I have always gravitated to. It's one of the reasons I love 40K. It's a very different look at the world while still feeling very plausible. And as you guys know, I've ranted about this many times on this channel, there's a thin line with dystopia that is very, very important that you never cross. And that's moving out of the realm of realism. And for me, Kaiserpunk does not. It hits on every single point that it's always fascinated me with World War I. I've always been intrigued by how close the world came to basically complete economic collapse. The world was not in a good place when the United States stepped in 1917, and all of the world's economies were on the verge. Some of them had actually collapsed. That's one of the big issues that happened in Russia that led to the communist uprising, is their economy as well as their faith in their leadership had basically dissolved. And a few communist leaders had stepped in. But for Kaiserpunk, it takes it one step further. What if all of this happened and the United States wasn't able to break it? It ends up dragging out for another several years, and this completely destabilizes all of the world's economies. Because once trade shuts down, food can't go to where it needs to go, and the soldiers quickly become disheartened with what's going on, and a lot of them just end up stranded. So when you start out the game, you are one of these units. You're stranded in some location somewhere as a unit, and you need to build your community by recruiting other people to join you, as well as building a thriving community through simple things like setting up farms, building housing, and eventually you get to the point where you start building up your military as well. Once you have your military, you're able to go out and conquer surrounding regions, taking resources and moving them into your sphere of influence. It's a very similar game to, in play, is very similar to a lot of the games I enjoy. Like, I love Hearts of Iron. I love Victoria 3, Total War. A lot of those games are very similar in playstyle. They all are very unique as well, but they all have that same feel. And my favorite part about those games is I can show up, play a game for a little while, and walk away and be done with it for a while. It's not a game that you have to completely grind on and push for and be on there every single day. I can't afford to do that. Between this channel and my life as an author and my day job, sometimes I barely have time to sleep. And unfortunately, that means video games happen maybe once or twice a month, if I'm lucky, for a few hours. And because of that, I'm very selective on which games I own and which games I play. It either needs to have a killer story, or it needs to be something I can enjoy tactically, that I can play and come up with grand strategies and theorize about things to the point where I really enjoy it. It's one of the reasons I love the games I just listed. And this actually does a good job of checking both boxes for me. The strategy is fantastic. It's one of the things I really enjoyed with it. There's so much manipulation and balance that you have to maintain, making sure you're checking all of the boxes to manage food supply, working conditions. You have to manage electricity and water flow and ore and trade. You have to deal with an economic surplus and downfalls. And all of this leads to a very fun experience. It's one of those games that I can start playing for intending to be there for an hour and quickly realize that I've passed 3+ hours playing this game, and I enjoyed every second of it. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy this. On top of that, there's actually some pretty deep factions and different play styles you can do to really enjoy this game as well. I'll let you guys investigate those, especially since they're still coming out with some of these new factions and styles. So make sure you go check those out as well. So, like in all of these major war games that we talk about, as well as the video games we talked about recently, it does have a pretty deep faction set that you can build and create a narrative that you really enjoy. It gives you options to pursue trying to restore and stabilize the government that was there. You can back a rebel faction, you can back different paths, whether it be communist or nationalist or democracy. And you really get that feel that you see a lot of times with the tech trees in, for example, Hearts of Iron 4, but it is very different and very unique, which is something I always love as well. On top of that, you're never really safe. In this game, you're constantly either on the brink of war, under attack, or one of your neighbors is building to attack or raiding. And this keeps a constant pressure moving on you. It's a very almost Age of Empires feel this way, and it really drives you to excel at the game. And just like in Warhammer 40k, there is no real good or evil. At this point, everything has collapsed. So no matter which faction you're leading, you can choose to be the good guys, you can choose to be the bad guys, you can choose to be the neutral guys that don't really screw with anything. You can do whatever you want because there are no good factions or bad factions in this world due to how everything fell apart. And for all my 40k fans, this game really does have a lot of appeal, especially if you're an Imperial Guard player. Because you see a lot of infantry and tank movements, you also get to use a lot of the artillery strategies. On top of that, there's several factions that look like Imperial Guard units, whether that be the Acadians or if you bring in the Germans, they look almost exactly like the Krieg. And you get to really have that full feel of what the Imperial Guard would be like. It was a lot of fun for me to play, and I think you guys are going to love it as well. On top of that, if you're a fan of Dan Abnett like me, there's a lot of his similar style of politics, where it's there, it's present, and you have to pay attention to it, but it's not overwhelming or annoying. And this was really something I enjoyed as well. It's fun to play the politics without it being the only thing you play. And because of all of this, you can actually be your own war master of your Dieselpunk Imperium. You can bring war to all those around you, whether they be heretic or foe, and take over the world, just like you would in Warhammer 40k if you were leading a conquest of a planet. Now, I know we have a lot of fans of Warhammer 40k on this channel. That's the majority of what we talk about on here. But I do have a lot of other fans on here, whether they be for games like Hearts of Iron 4, Victoria 3, Company of Heroes, or any of those fun games we've played in the past. This game is something I think you guys are going to really enjoy, especially now that, for example, Space Marine 2 has been out for a while, and maybe you're getting a little sick of it, and maybe you need something to mix it up a little bit. I think Kaiserpunk might be a good option for you. It's currently available in the Steam store, and I do have to thank them once again for inviting me to be involved in this game and demo it and test it out so I can make this video for you guys. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this game as well. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the game. Does it look cool? Is it something you might be interested in doing? And if you do, let me know which factions you like. It was a lot of fun, and I'll do the same. Currently, I haven't had a ton of time to play it because I have one book I'm writing, another book I'm editing, another one coming out here soon, as well as another short story that's being edited as well. So I haven't been able to play it as much as I've liked. So far, I've enjoyed playing the Mountain Specialist faction. I probably butchered that name, but they're a lot of fun, and I've been playing them down in Argentina as well as in the United States. So make sure you go check this out. Like I said, let me know in the comments below if this game interests you, or if there's any other games you'd like me to look into. Or on top of that, let me know what types of factions you see represented in this game as well. And I will see you guys later.